Flourishing is a word that's been used for centuries. It is hard to define, but we know it means more than surviving. It's about life, rooted, growing, alive. Flourishing matters because our lives matter. I really had never envisioned myself as being a scholar of flourishing. A number of years ago, as I was reflecting on my own life and my work in public health, I began to think about what is the connection between my faith and my work in public health. Much to my surprise, there were hundreds, even thousands of studies on this connection between religious communities and health, and that led to research uncovering whether these relationships really were causal, and that the fact that religious community had such a profound effect on health made me then think, why aren't we discussing this more, and what else might shape population health that we're not discussing? We study physical health well, and we study income very well, and these are important things, critical things in people's lives, but people care about more than that. Why aren't we studying these other aspects of well-being with the same level of empirical rigor? But measuring meaning or happiness or character is not as straightforward as blood pressure. And so really from the beginning, brought in not just psychologists and sociologists and public health researchers and statisticians, but also philosophers, theologians, even a historian to approach this topic of flourishing in an interdisciplinary perspective. But it was really that freedom to inquire, that thirst and quest for knowledge, and knowledge of the most important things that led to the life of the Human Flourishing Program at Harvard. So the Global Flourishing Study is a study of over 200,000 individuals in 22 countries, spanning all 6 populated continents, with nationally representative samples in each country, and following the same group of 200,000 individuals once a year for 5 years. So the goal for the study is that we'd be able to understand the distribution of flourishing around the world in different countries and in different demographic groups, but that we'd also uncover the determinants of well-being, that we'd understand what contributes to flourishing. The definition of flourishing that we've been using is a state in which all aspects of a person's life are good, including the contexts in which that person lives. So understood in this way, flourishing is multidimensional. It includes happiness and health and meaning and character and our relationships and the financial and material means that are needed to sustain these other aspects of life. Flourishing is also an ideal. It's not something we ever attain perfectly in this life. I think if we want to improve flourishing, we have to understand its distribution. Who is flourishing in our society and who is not? Who needs help and in what ways? When we look at the data, for example, from the Global Flourishing Study, we find that different countries are flourishing in different ways. And while rich, developed countries tend to report overall higher levels of life evaluation and higher financial security, we see that they also report lower levels of meaning and purpose, of kind of pro-social orientation towards others, and of relationship quality than many middle-income countries. And I think this should give us pause for reflection. But I think a study of flourishing and an understanding of flourishing needs to be a societal pursuit. Our communities contribute to our own well-being, but we also participate in the common good of those communities. This guide is an invitation, not to a life of perfection, but to a life well lived by means of presence, a journey to choose flourishing, one step at a time, for yourself and for your entire community.